thiệu cùng tất cả quý quan khách. Ông Ahmed Hussen hiện là Bộ trưởng Bộ Di trú Công dân Canada. Vốn là một người tị nạn đến từ Somalia, ông hiểu biết rất sâu sắc những khó khăn của người mới định cư và ông đã làm việc hữu hiệu để có những chương trình giúp đỡ họ tốt hơn. Now this is my great privilege to introduce to you the Honorable Ahmed Hussen, Minister of Immigration, Refugees and Citizenship of Canada.
Thank you very much. I want to begin by saying to all of you, King Chao. Thank you very much. I want to, of course, acknowledge my colleagues, Member of Parliament Judy Stroh and Senator Noor Tanhai, as well as Councillor Perozio and Dina Stroh. It's an honor to join all of you. I must say this is a much better year because it's a much bigger crowd. I was here last year and it was smaller than this, so that means it's getting bigger every year, which is fantastic. I also, of course, want to wish the community and especially the young people in the back and the youth a very special Mid-Autumn Children Festival, Tet Chung Tu. It's indeed an honor to always join the Vietnamese Canadian community. As a previous speaker said, this is a community that came to Canada out of a tragic event of coming and immigrating because of a lack of freedom, and coming to Canada to search for protection against persecution. And from that tragic history, the community not only found sanctuary and protection in Canada, but was able to thrive and succeed. And in many ways, the story of the integration of the Vietnamese Canadian community into Canada is an example, a really shining example of the success of Canadian integration. And the previous speaker spoke about how Vietnamese people left everything, left their families, left everything behind to come to Canada. But I want to say in response to that indeed they left their families, but they got a new family. They got the Canadian family. And now the Vietnamese Canadian community is part of the Canadian family. So you are part of the family now. And it's an example of Canadian multiculturalism and the celebration of diversity that we can join you here today. All of us who are non-Vietnamese, who are here to celebrate with you and to share in your celebration. It's very unique to have a country where we can all come together and celebrate each other's festivals, respect one another, embrace each other, but not only learn to live with each other, but also learn to work together to build an even greater society. You know that that's not the case for many, many parts of the world. So in many ways, we're very fortunate to have that in Canada, but we cannot take it for granted. And so I urge you as members of the Canadian community to cherish the diversity that we have, to cherish and always treasure the multiculturalism that we have, and resist and push back against anyone who tells you that diversity is a bad thing. Diversity is a beautiful thing. It's the thing that today allows me to stand in front of you and celebrate with you as you enjoy your Mid-Autumn Festival. The second point I want to make before I conclude my remarks, and Member of Parliament Judy Stroh is going to come up after I speak to present to you greetings from Prime Minister Justin Trudeau and our government, and she'll also make a few remarks. But I just wanted to end with one more example of why I am so happy to be in Canada. Because it was because of me being in Canada that I got to know the Vietnamese community. I got to know about their history. I also got to know about the pride that they take in this flag. This flag, to the Vietnamese Canadian community, it's not a simple flag. It's a flag that represents freedom. It's a flag that represents democracy. It's a flag that represents human rights. And even though this is a flag that's unique to the Canadian Vietnamese community, the values of freedom, democracy, and human rights are values that I cherish too with you. And so continue to raise this flag, because it stands for those three things that we all cherish. And that is why we value Canada, because in Canada we have the rule of law, we have democracy, we have human rights, and we have freedom. The freedom to celebrate who we are, and the freedom to come together in a way to not only celebrate who we are, but to share that celebration with others. And so it gives me great pleasure to represent our government and Prime Minister Justin Trudeau to join you here today, not only to celebrate the festival, but to continue to cherish this flag, because this flag, we share the values that this flag stands for, because those are inalienable rights. And it's those values that you stand up for every day and every single year, and it is why I will keep coming back to you to stand with you as you stand for democracy, human rights, and the rule of law, and freedom in Vietnam, in Canada, and everywhere in the world. Thank you very much. Merci beaucoup.